is Upper East.
Upper East, right
Yes.
off East Street in Frederick.
Yes.
With Lea. Let me just say, first of all, I've got the card for the person here. This is an unbelievable place,
Yes.
number one. So I can see when you actually saw this job posted on our friend Pam's socials.
Yes,
the
and
Housewives.
Yep,
of
Housewives
Frederick
of Frederick County.
Yeah. And it's interesting that that's where they source, but I mean, where else would they find an artist like you?
Yeah, so the Maryland State Arts Council actually has a list. So that's somewhere you can look. But for local things like this, I follow everything Frederick. I follow Housewives of Frederick County. Every town has its own page, so I try to follow the pages. And there will randomly be people like, hey, we need a muralist. We're looking for an artist.
Yeah.
And I jump on it and I make sure I message them and say, hey, here, look at my Instagram.
I'm an artist.
Yes.
Pick me. I've never actually had to source an artist, so it's just funny that I would have never thought that you could just go to a page like that and put it out there, but it's good that you're on top of things.
Yes.
So you have been an artist your whole life.
Yes.
And professionally for the last 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
You have actually painted stuff like these. The exterior, I've seen you've done electrical boxes in cities.
Yeah, there's going to be a new one in Bethesda coming up I just got. And then a new one in Gaithersburg as well, and a splash pad in Gaithersburg. So that, all sorts of things. And that now I have organizations come to me, which is nice.
Yes.
Finally. It only takes 20 years or your whole life. But now organizations find me and request me to come in and, do a mock-up for them.
Right.
And then a budget. And you have to be a businesswoman and an artist.
Well, then that's
do it all.
Yes, that's
a lot.
Many artists that I know, musicians and painters and sculptors, that's a hard thing for most people. So it's great you've got that. I think being the mom of those kids kind of makes you have to survival mode, right?
Oh, totally. I was a single mom and I homeschooled and working overnights. I worked at Cafe Nola as a pastry chef for years. So
I love it. All right. So what was the first big exterior mural that you did?
NOMA, DC. I did their mural festival. That was last year. I've done some private murals as well at some other famous people's homes. I've done some exterior murals, would probably be the more private ones, is where I started. But a lot in Washington, DC, at the mural festival there. These here, and in Martinsburg, West Virginia, I just installed 2 days ago a massive mural that is 7 10-foot by 10-foot portraits of the history of Martinsburg. So,
and you just told me that your portrait of
Vicki Bullitt. So she's a WNBA gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist, and she was speechless when she saw her portrait. So you're always worried because usually the people I paint are not living.
Then you don't have
so
to worry about feedback.
Yes. So when I had a meeting with her a few weeks ago, I'm like, look, you're one of the first people that's actually still living. She's like, well, I'm glad I'm still living.
Yes,
So it's more nerve-wracking for that reason. But she was blown away and loved it. And it's wonderful to be able to support the community and support people that maybe didn't get as much attention as they should have in the community. So I try to pull that into my art as well. And that mural, there's also a portrait of a famous jazz pianist that came from Martinsburg, West Virginia.
How long from concept to completion did that Martinsburg installation take?
So it took a year in planning. So you have to go through the red tape of government red tapes. The building owners there were wonderful, and they gave us the permission right away because they loved the idea. And it's the first historic mural in Martinsburg of that scale, and maybe at all. So you have to go through a lot of different government agencies, but the 250th Commemoration Committee is who hired me. So it was nice. It was a separate entity that was a nonprofit that hired me. So that makes it a little easier.
Because they have the in with probably a lot of the people. It's not just somebody coming in and saying, hey, paint here.
Right, and the funding. And it's nice that people donate to these things. And,
So this, though, is one of your first in Frederick County.
Yes,
right?
Yep, it is. So years ago I did one in Brunswick, Maryland. I did the Love Windows at Colonial Jewelers.
Of course, that's right. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
So you have a Frederick, another
They
Frederick.
were wonderful to work with too. So if you walk by and see the Love Windows, I designed those. Because I'm a designer as well.
So here at this resort, at this feels like
apartment,
it does feel like a resort. This apartment complex, you have 7 projects?
Yes, 7 murals total. So I have the dog park that we see here. And this one I just completed last last week, actually, at like 1 in the morning one night. I'm a night owl as well.
Yeah, where it's cooler and this isn't on fire because it's black.
Yes, so I have to wait till it gets cooled off at night, or the paint will automatically like instantly dry.
Yeah.
And then it does not look pretty.
No.
This one, and I did their move-in rooms for people to move their furniture into each building. So there's 5 buildings.
We'll show those. Yeah, that's really cool.
And then their leasing office inside as well. I did their welcome mural there. So
we'll show them. That is beautiful.
Thank
Painted
you.
on brick, and I love how, and I'm not an artist by any means, but you did the indents lighter, giving that kind of 3D kind of effect. But
very tricky.
Yeah, I bet. No doubt.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you're standing back. Is it a circle? Is it not a circle?
Well, let me ask you that, because how do you take your concept and then put it here? Is there sketching involved? Is on this surface, or is it you kind of looking at your little thing going, okay, I need to, how do you do that?
I don't know, but I say that's like a different part of me. I'm on autopilot, because often I'll walk away and my husband's with me and I'll be like, who did that?
I did that.
I did that. Right. I really still can't. And driving up today, I'm like, oh my God, that looks good.
Yeah.
But I projected this one because of the corrugation.
Yeah.
I needed to project. So I use a projector sometimes, or like in DC when I did a mural festival, it had to be like done in like 4 days. So you need the speed.
Right.
But typically I just hand draw everything, and I'll sketch it at home on whatever piece of paper is handy. If I have an idea, on envelopes all over the house, there's like coffee rings and sketches on everything. I'll sketch it, and then I'll go in my iPad and use like different software, Procreate or Adobe Suite, and draw it out and then get a better idea, and then that enables me to somehow put it on a giant wall. So I mean, to me, I'm very spatial.
Yeah, I was going to say,
the way I think.
My brain doesn't go from a napkin to the scale.
Yeah.
I mean, and keeping things looking as great as they do.
Thank you.
What's your largest project? Is it the Martinsburg one now?
The Martinsburg mural is the largest project. That building is probably 150 feet long, and it covers the entire side of it.
Yeah.
And it works out to about 700 square feet, I believe.
Yeah.
But even though they're broken up into portraits, you have to think of how it will fit on the building the right way. And so the entire
really, I would
thing
think
is a
conceptually that it kind of ties in and looks as one, right?
Yes.
So you still wanted to kind of, even with those huge gaps, feel like it's one piece.
Yeah. So through that one, I flowed the Opequon River in each panel, which ties them all together.
Who's the most famous client you can talk about?
The most famous, Jill Biden.
Okay, there you go.
So the First Lady, I got to paint her a portrait in 2022 of the National Cherry Blossom art that I made.
Yeah.
They own the art. So when you do these kinds of jobs, they then own your art.
Yeah.
But there were certain clients that they were like, yes, let's do this. So they were able to gift Jill Biden a hand-painted version of the digital poster that I made. And that poster actually won silver medal. I haven't really announced it. Silver medal in the entire world for all poster art design for every festival, concert, and event in the entire world.
Wait a minute, you're announcing it right here?
Yes.
Look at that. We have breaking it. That is amazing.
Yeah, I got to create that for her, and the Japanese ambassador's wife as well, and then Mayor Bowser of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So those are 3 that I can talk about.
That's pretty
But
big,
I do travel for murals and go to fun places, and I drive, 10 hours and get to someone's house with a car full of paint and paint their house, and maybe listen to them playing music. And
so, very nice, very nice.
It's surreal.
Yeah. So if people want to get in touch with you, what's the easiest way?
Instagram is wonderful. It's a perfect place to see a portfolio of my work. I have a small website, but really I think websites are kind of antiquated feeling to me, especially for art.
Yeah.
So at Blue Hue Studio on Instagram, and then my Gmail is bluehuestudio@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can email me.
Yeah.
I have a link tree on Instagram as well. I teach at the Smithsonian, so I actually taught at the Smithsonian a week ago. I do oil pastels and fine art as well.
Yeah.
So that I will list these classes on there, and I think we're talking about teaching a mural class actually at the Smithsonian. So that's another surreal thing too.
That's amazing.
And it shows you that you can do this if you have the business mind and you have the actual show up, get stuff done, and do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
People like this that hired me here at Upper East, wanting local artists and wanting local art for their residents. is key for communities to just thrive and for artists to thrive as well. And yeah, fair pay, and there shouldn't be shame in asking for fair pay.
Oh no, we really appreciate your art.
Thank you.
And you are, like I said, wired way different than any other artist I've ever met in the best possible way.
Thank you.
And I love how I think you've become an overnight success after 20 years of doing your craft.
Of painting on my porch
and
weird places.
That's right, but we couldn't be happier to call you one of our own.
Thank
even
you.
Though I know technically
I'm a transplant,
you weren't
but
born here, but we
love
will
it.
claim you.
Yes, Frederick is wonderful.
Yeah.
Frederick is so artsy and such a foodie town.
We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.